We're here at Watches and Wonders 2025. Today I'm joined by Joe Kirk, who's the head curator at Grand Seiko. Thank you so much for joining me, Joe.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to presenting the novelties for Grand Seiko in 2025. I think you guys absolutely hit it out of the park. But before I guess we get into the actual novelties themselves, what would you say was kind of the overarching theme of this year's releases?
It's difficult because we kind of had two main driving forces between our big introduction, which we call UFA. I'm sure you've heard of it at this point, and that is the theme of ice forest and really pursuing a high level of accuracy. And then we have a very bold design that we introduced that is more of a showcase of craftsmanship and case polishing. So, the theme with Grand Seiko is always practicality, but, I think that really the star of the show for us is UFA and that pursuit of precision that we've always had.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'm always impressed by with Grand Seiko is the fact that you guys approach watchmaking in an untraditional lens, in the sense that maybe you guys are disruptors in the industry, right? With your Grand Seiko, or with your spring drive technology. But at the end of the day, it's still rooted in classical watchmaking, right? The polishing of your hands, bracelets, your commitment to accuracy. It's something that I think really defines the modern Grand Seiko brand. And I think it's really what makes you distinct in the watch industry today.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's certainly something that I think separates us across the board, and not just the movement itself, but the aesthetic, the design of the movement in terms of finishing, and also our kind of spirit of our hometowns that we bring to our watches as well. So yeah, I imagine you would like to see one.
Yeah, I guess let's start with probably what stole the show for you guys, right? Which is the UFA.
Well, there's two versions of UFA, and we'll start with the more rare of the two, since the second one I'll show you is probably an extra talking point. But we've introduced the UFA first in a Platinum 950 model that will be limited to only 80 pieces worldwide. Will be $39,000 and is going to be obviously extremely rare, with only 80 pieces produced in the world, most of which will stay in Japan. So this carries the theme of ice forest that I spoke about. Spring drive is made in Nagano Prefecture in central Japan, and there's a particular region called the Kirigamine Highlands that has a forest that in the winter will be essentially covered in ice. So this is the motif for the dial. You can see kind of the almost tree-like pattern that is spread throughout, but also has kind of that crystalline structure of the frost itself. So this is going to be the first model in the series. But then for continuous production, which we typically don't do with with a new movement, but we're starting to make better habit of, is the same ice forest theme in our Evolution 9 design, but in high intensity titanium on a bracelet. So this, I think,
let me put on the glove.
This has been the star of the show for a number of reasons. And as we mentioned, accuracy and the pursuit of precision, something that Grand Seiko is all about, right? Yeah. It's made to be the best practical watch. It's got to be simple and pure, but accurate, legible, and durable are essentials. Yeah. And so for us, the chase of this level of accuracy, started with mechanical watchmaking back in the 60s, and then shortly thereafter in the 70s, one of our engineers had this brilliant idea to power a watch mechanically and attain the accuracy that of a quartz. And so his pursuit took nearly 28 years to bring to life, at least in continuous production format. But spring drive was introduced in 2004 into Grand Seiko with the caliber 9R. So 2020, we introduced 9RA, which achieved a higher degree of accuracy by temperature compensation of 10 seconds per month. So the most accurate watch in the world was spring drive in 2004 at 15 seconds per month, at least powered by a mainspring. And then we beat that with 10 seconds with the 9RA. This year, we're very excited to announce our 9RB2 caliber we're calling UFA for ultrafine accuracy, and is 20 seconds per year accurate.
Which is just unbelievable, right? For a mechanically driven wristwatch to achieve such an accuracy it's unheard of in the watch industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It truly is. And one thing that I can say about the design of this watch is you truly listen to your supporters and the people who love your brand, right? First of all, in the case size, right?
Yes.
I think one thing that this watch has is those kind of shorter lugs as well that are super well faceted. I think that's something that Grand Seiko lovers enjoy, and I think are asking always for, especially in a more kind of traditional case size in 37 millimeters.
Yeah.
But I think most importantly, right, and I think the biggest talking point is this newer style bracelet, right, which of course features the typical kind of deploying clasp, but of course now has this amazing technology of the micro adjustment.
Yes. So, of course, we would love to make smaller watches, but in most instances, to downsize, you may have to compromise rigidity or accuracy or power reserve. So, the downsizing was one big challenge for us, but with 9RB, we took some of the lessons we learned with 9RA, and instead of using dual size barrels to achieve 5-day power reserve, we went with a single barrel to achieve the 3-day power reserve. So that helped us really reduce the size, but also by utilizing our offset magic lever and our one-piece center bridge, we're able to also reduce the height and improve the durability. So downsizing, and then of course, comfort's very important as well as, trying to make the best possible practical watch. We knew a micro adjust was something certainly that Grand Seiko needed. It was just a matter of development. And so as you can see, the micro adjust is something that I could easily see people using on a daily basis, and if not to adjust for comfort, just to fidget with, and could sustain a lot of wear and tear. So our engineers had a very difficult job to ensure that this is highly long-lasting, easy to service should something happen, and also not infringe on other intellectual property in the industry. So you'll have this kind of T shape. You just apply a little bit of pressure and it will slide all the way out. And then you can ratchet it in 1, 2, 3 steps for comfort. And each of those is 2 millimeters, so 6 millimeter range.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's a huge degree. That's a huge degree of actual adjustment in the watch itself, which is, for one, I think really, really important for anybody who enjoys kind of micro adjustment in their watch. But I think one thing that's always lost in the watch industry is how difficult it is to bring this to life, right? Like you talked about spring drive taking 28 years to achieve, right? Obviously, these are 2 amazing releases, but I know Grand Seiko came out with a couple others that I'd love to shine a light on.
Yeah, and we didn't have a lot of introductions this year, and we really want to focus in and kind of let's say make our collections a bit more comprehensive and focus on our kind of rock star models, but we wanted, of course, to introduce new and groundbreaking things. So our second biggest release, not in terms of size, of course, because this is certainly much bigger, but the Tokyo Lion design, now featuring our Tentagramraph caliber that we introduced 2 years ago. So please, feel free. But
one thing that can be totally lost, unfortunately, in 2D images is the incredible depth and architecture of this case. I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? And the polishing that you guys are able to achieve on all the different facets. I mean, we'll show some close-ups, but it's literally a seamless finish of the brushing on one side versus another, which I don't think people understand how difficult that can be to achieve, right? It can be lost just by, just looking at it plainly and not really thinking about it. And of course, this Tentagramraph movement is phenomenal. Can you speak a little bit about the challenges in creating an in-house chronograph movement like this?
Well, so for us, we have a lot of, advancements in terms of technology and a lot of history with chronographs that came more from Seiko, because Grand Seiko did not make chronographs back in the 60s or anything like that. So that was, at least a good foundation back when the brand was, a collection under the Seiko umbrella. But as an independent brand, we had only the spring drive chronograph caliber for many years. We always wanted to do high beat, but unfortunately with chronographs, if you start the stopwatch on a mechanical watch, it draws power away from the balance wheel, and in turn you lose accuracy essentially as soon as you start the stopwatch. So in order for us to create a new chronograph that attained Grand Seiko's high level of precision that's required, we had to figure out how to reduce that power draw from the balance. And so that is the big breakthrough that we needed with our dual impulse escapement that we developed for originally caliber 9SA5. So the Tentagramraph caliber essentially uses that as a base. Now the main plate is not the same, but and obviously the layout can't be identical, so we had to re-engineer the movement in that regard. but we do a layered structure to make it easy to service, essentially. And there's roughly 400 components in this movement, so it's very complex. But because of that dual impulse escapement, we were able to pursue a high level of precision with or without the chronograph running with this Tentagramraph caliber. The one thing you mentioned about the case was, all these flat surfaces and this really dynamic design. So, kind of like a diamond, right? The more flat surfaces they are, the more perfectly polished, the more it sparkles like a diamond. And that was kind of Grand Seiko's MO when they developed the design code. So with this new Tokyo Lion design, however, they're dramatically wide and broad surfaces. There's so many intersecting planes, and it's got to be one of the most complex titanium cases that we've created yet.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that the material itself is brilliant hard titanium. So you may be familiar with this because we've used it like on most famous probably is Kodo, our constant force tourbillon.
Okay, yeah.
Where you can see it alongside platinum and they look virtually the same. But the hardness on this material is twice that of stainless steel. So it has an added great benefit and this beautiful luster that, you would similarly get with platinum. So the case, however, is a case polisher's nightmare. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, to do these really broad surfaces, so many, and each surface is, hours of work. This is harder to achieve because it's easier to make uneven, and you wouldn't be able to get the distortion-free mirror finish that Grand Seiko is required to have. But they're perfectionists, and of course, we won't let anything happen to our precious Zaratsu.
Yeah, I think this is a testament to like Japanese quest for perfection, right? It's like everything about this just screams like just absolutely perfect, like the seamless transition from one line to another, right? Like the way that all the facets work together and the shine and sheen of the actual watch mixed with, of course, the finishing on the dial, the case. It's just, it's a spectacular release and a really, really great one. I think people are going to absolutely love this.
Thank you.
Wow. This is gorgeous. And of course, there was one more Tentagramraph model as well, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we introduced Tentagramraph in 2023, and everyone's been waiting for a new version for, the last 2 years. And unfortunately, it hasn't come. But finally, this year, we're able to introduce 2 new models featuring the 9SC5 Tentagramraph caliber. And this one carries the same Evolution 9 design as the original, but now with a Panda dial, the black sub dials, and what we call like snow blue Mounty Wate pattern for the main dial. So we have a dual dial structure for this one, so it's possible for us to do the 2 colors, which is great. Helps, in my opinion, improve the legibility. And I think it's just an absolutely beautiful design that I hope to add to my own collection here soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's the little details I think that make you guys so great. Like even when you turn the dial over, you see the polished inner rings within the actual, and they're perfectly polished. Like it's just that attention to detail that I think has made Grand Seiko one of the most beloved amongst watch enthusiasts and people looking for really the highest quality. And for the price point that you guys are able to achieve this, it's really mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. So this one will be $14,100, while because this is using our high-intensity titanium, which is more common throughout the brand. It's exactly the same as what we're using on Snowflake as an example. And then the brilliant hard titanium Tokyo Lion design will be $16,400. So bit price difference, but it's justified, I think, by the, more rare and durable material. Yeah. And then also the highly angular case of that Tokyo Lion design.
No question.
So, and then next on the list, we have a 36.5mm 44GS, which is, that's what set the design code for Grand Seiko back in 1967. And this is actually smaller than the original, which is interesting. But hand-wound caliber, 3-day power reserve, 4 Hertz frequency, and the Mounty Wate pattern once again, but this time in a new color we've never done before, which is inspired by kiri flowers. Kiri is a type of wood commonly used in like high-end Japanese packaging, but it's a very plain, like unfinished wood. You might see your calligraphy on or something. But so famous tree, and then in the springtime, of course, you have these beautiful flowers that grow in a almost white and purplish color. Yeah. So this is the inspiration, and
just another testament to your creativity, right? The color of the dial is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very silver too. Like it's a very neutral purple, let's say.
Absolutely. Is nature really kind of the biggest inspiration, or I guess you guys are mostly inspired by the incredible nature surrounding you guys?
Exactly, yeah. We use our hometown. I mean, all of Japan is, let's say, serving as a source of inspiration, but we mostly look to our hometowns of our studios to draw from inspiration. In this instance, Kiri is also the prefectural flower of Iwate Prefecture, where we make the watch.
Okay.
So, you know, there's a nice tie to the hometown.
Sure.
But, you know, and they should have a lot of hometown pride. These 2 studios we have are in 2 of the most interesting places in Japan, in my opinion. And, you know, definitely very beautiful and renowned. But, you know, the nature theme is, you know, it's our brand philosophy. The nature of time is you know, essential to Grand Seiko in terms of the spirit. And also, you know, nature has kind of told time for Japan for many, many years and is preserved and revered. And that's, you know, I think the main driving force behind our nature theme.
Awesome. Joe, thank you so much for joining me.
Very much my pleasure, and have me anytime, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. If you have any questions about any of the Grand Seikos presented here today, or any Grand Seiko models in general, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to help and answer any questions you may have. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.